Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. So today's video, I'm going to cover quite a few things. This is again for World of the Mad and optional stuff for Gaslands and for 15mm sci-fi gaming. Okay, so a member brought up the question of using a boarding party to basically raid and take over cars rather than killing the driver. They're one and the same, pretty much. But boarding does present another possibility that's kind of fun that you can use. So I'm going to go over my idea for it. I think I've got it figured out. I toyed with it before, thought of it one way, and then over the course of the evening I thought of it another way. So I want to see what you guys think about this. So I've got a bunch of minis here and a bunch of the cars that I've got, a bunch of the rides. We're going to go over it through 3 different things. Also, we'll go over the skirmish part of the game, the somewhat beta rules I've got going on that pretty much work. Just going to throw them out there. Might need a little bit of refining at some point. And then we're also I'm going to clarify a couple things also. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to clear off the table of a few things. We're going to get to this in a moment. We'll get to all these minis here. So first, let's talk about my previous video where it was shooting your opponent. Okay, so I had established that. Well, first let me go back a second. Gaslands has rules for shooting and everything already established. I don't want to mess with those. I don't want to change them because they're set, they're established, they're very easy, and everything is on a D6. Why add in another die code? Alright, there's no reason to. Just keep it at D6. Use the same dice pools you already have. Don't have to go out and buy new dice, even though most of us are gamers and already have D10s, D20s, and so on and so forth. So other polyhedral dice. But let's just keep it at D6. Okay, so this is another member of Yuri's Blind Wing. I can't remember which guy this was. But anyway, this is the 85 Honda City Turbo 2. Small little car. I referenced this in the scaling video about cars. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about the scale. Anyway, so the Bling Wing and this, my son, I made a quick video about this, building it. My son wanted it. It was originally a Purple Passion. Tanks from treads from the Ripsaw, Fast and Furious. Very, very simple little mod to do, and it works. It's fine. Looks good. So let's clarify shooting. So shooting, you have to be within medium range, because that's the range of your handgun. We're just using the handgun, for example. And whatever range the weapon that you're using, now it's not limited to the handguns on the characters, okay? Not limited to this. If you want to use your turret-mounted weapon, or your side-mounted weapon, if you have one that has a side facing, that's fine. You can use that to also shoot your opponent. So remember, to shoot them you need a 5 or a 6. Point blank period. 5 or a 6. 5 does 1 wound point. 6 is always going to be a critical according to the game rules. So 6 would do 2 wounds. This driver is now dead. The car moves forward 1 short. Let's get this out of the way here. The vehicle will move 1 short movement forward, and then the player to the left will decide which facing it ends up in. Then if this guy wants to go ahead and take it over, he basically has to drop down to gear 1, get out, and he's going to move in, take out the body, and boom, now it's his car. That's the rating part of it. Alright, so now, I thought that was pretty clear. I still got questions on it. But yeah, any weapon that you have on this vehicle, as long as it's correctly facing the side where the driver is, left or right, depending what country you're in. Because, some of us have right side drives. As long as you're aiming for the driver, that's fine. As long as you got some type of line of sight to it. If you're in the rear, I'm going to say no. I mean, you can try, and I would say probably you're going to have to make a 6 to hit it from the rear. But as long as you're somewhere over here and you're not directly behind it, you can hit it. There's some way, somehow you can do it. That's just that. There's no need to go any further. All right, so now let's get into the boarding. Boarding is fun because it takes the action a little bit further, enhances the game a bit. So, in order to board, now we're going to have to do this 2 different ways. We're just going to take 2 cars. Alright, everybody's racing, blah, blah, blah. These are just here for the for aesthetics. So, in order to board, let me see if I move this camera just a little bit more, just to give you a little bit better look at what's going on. Sorry about the shakiness. And move it up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got a bunch of cars here. In order to board a vehicle, here's my ruling. You have to, despite what gear you're in, as long as your final movement ends up like this, you have to be within 1 short template. 1 short. Let's move this up here. So we're going to count this as the rear of the vehicle. This is the furthest part. We're going to count this as the front. Okay? There we go. 1 short. He's 1 short. And he moved just a little bit. Let's just put him back here. I'm going to put him exactly 1 short. And we're going to put him exactly 1 short also. Now you might say that's a hell of a distance, because basically what's happening is this guy is jumping from here to here. Now the reason why we say it's 1 short is because that is the shortest movement in the game. Do you really want to cut this in half? I mean, that's basically 2 inches, more or less. Actually, a little more than 2, a little bit more than 2 inches. Okay, so if we moved it in half, while visually that would make sense, as you can see, we're not changing the rules by much in World of the Mad. So we're going to say 1 short. Basically, your racers, your road crew, are the apex predators of the road. So they're physically fit for the most part, regardless if they're big chunky guys, hefty fellows like myself and my friends, sweaties, as John Schnepp would have said. May he rest in peace. Yeah, these are the apex predators of the road. So we're going to say 1 short is the absolute minimum that they have to be. Or rather, that's how close they have to be. Basically, they're jumping from here to here. So, no risk, no reward, right? We always say that. In order to make this jump, gotta roll a 6. Yeah, kind of shocking. What are the chances of you rolling a 6 every time? Well, I don't know the odds that well. To be honest, I'm not a mathematician. But you're never always going to roll a 6. So do you really want to jump from here to here on a 6? Probably not, but it's an interesting thing. So let's say you make your jump. You roll your 6, just for argument's sake. Anywhere. Boom, 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 boom. Roll a 6. And yes, this includes from the front also. If you want to jump from the rear of your vehicle onto here, we're going to get to that in a second. So, but for this example, you're jumping from the side to over here. Oh, you can't even see the bling wing on the camera. My bad. I apologize. Let me get that 1 short. There he goes. So anyway, yeah, you're jumping from here to here. It's 1 short. This is a little less than 1 short, but we're going to say it's 1 short. So let's say you roll your 6. Boom, you roll your 6. You've made it on. All right. This we'll use it from the blend wing. Okay, so let's jump from here to here. Let's move all these out of the way real quick. You've made your jump. You made your 6. That's it for that gear phase. Let's say you were in gear phase 2. Gear phase 3. Since this was the second crew member, of course, your first crew, when it's your turn, he's going to do his firing, whatever, maneuver, shoot his gun, whatever, what have you. He's still considered part of this. He's still a crew member of this until he fully takes over this vehicle. So now he can't attack. Now he has to make another roll to actually stay on. Now you have to roll a 5 or a 6. A 5 and a 6, he stays on, he's in control, boom, he's done. Gear phase 4. Let's say you're in gear phase 4 now, because that was gear phase 2, he went in, jumped on. Gear phase 3, this character rolled to stay on, keep a hand held on it. Now he's on, he rolled a 5 or a 6. Now he can go ahead and basically he's like, you know, leaning over the roof. Boom, 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 shoot, 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 bang, bang, bang. Doing what he's got to do. However, the driver of this vehicle or its other crew can also shoot at him as well. Which again, it makes it a little bit easier because now he's already physically on board this vehicle. So all he has to roll in order to hit are the same rules. 4, 5, or 6 and it hits. Of course the 6 is a critical. Does 2 wounds. Same with the crew that's in here. The driver can so choose for his attack rather than deal with this vehicle. He's going to go ahead and shoot him. 4, 5, or 6. Typical movie thing. He's either shooting through the roof, sticking his hand out the window, you know, bang, bang, bang. Taking care of business. That's how easy that is. Okay? So, fairly easy. Let's just go through it one more time real quick. He wants to board, must roll a 6 to make the jump. In 1 gear phase. The next gear phase, he's still a member of this crew. Must roll a 5 or a 6 to stay on here. Just keep having a handhold on this car. Okay? He rolls his 5 or 6. Good to go. Now you're on gear phase 4. The next gear phase. This guy does whatever he has to do. The driver. Now, he has to roll his typical 4, 5, or 6 to hit the driver in here. Because range doesn't matter. He's on there. He's close range. But it's still going to be 4, 5, or 6 to hit. Vice versa. The driver and the crew in this vehicle, 4, 5, or 6 to hit him. Remember, people only have 2 wounds. That's it. And then they're dead. Yay! Alright, so that's if you make it successfully on there. Let's say you don't roll your 6 to get on there. Let's say you roll a 5. What happens? Oh shit. He fell off. He didn't make the catch. He didn't get on here. This guy keeps going and going. He's gone. So now he's on the road. Okay? So now, immediately, if you miss, you got to see if he survives. In order to survive, 5 or a 6. He rolls a 5. No wounds. No nothing. He just gets up. He's just standing there. If this guy has come to a dead stop, you can pick him up. Let's say another member of the Blend Wing, and we'll just use this one. Again, this is one of my very early models that I tried to do. I'm actually really proud of it. I really like this. Luckily, I have a couple more. It is the what is it called? Here, I'm gonna look at it. Street Creeper. Street Creeper. Still available. Kind of harder to find right now. Wasn't available in the last waves. It should be available again before the end of the year. Street Creeper, very cool card. Anyway, let's say this was a member of the Blend Wing because it has a chopped up Adidas thread. So let's say he didn't stop. He keeps going. So he's still there. This vehicle on its next gear phase, as long as it passes within 1 short of this character, and there's enough room in it for it to pick up another crew member, he can do so. It's not going to be a free thing. Basically, again, he's going to have to roll a 4, 5, or a 6 in order to get back into this car. So basically, this car is just going to slow down just enough for him to jump on. Boom. And then they keep trucking. He will not be able to fire anything that phase because that will be his attack. Because since he didn't board this vehicle here, since he did not board this vehicle, he's still considered part of this. So on this vehicle's next turn is when he's going to be able to jump onto here. And then on the following gear phase, he's now part of this vehicle, is added to its crew, so on and so forth. Okay? So that's as easy as that. He gets to go on. If he doesn't make it, 4, 5, or 6 to get onto this, to become a crew member of the second car. Say he rolls a 1, 2, or 3. He rolls a 1. He missed it. Guess what? Didn't slow down enough. He keeps going. He's now part of your skirmish group. We're going to get into that in a second. However, he's still a fair target for another vehicle. So this vehicle, basically, in a nutshell, I'm just going to put it to you like this. If any opposing vehicle or any vehicle is in gear 2 or above, smush, he's dead. He's gone. That's it. Plain and simple, he's done. No chance for him to jump on here or anything like that. If this vehicle was in gear phase 1, however, and is an enemy vehicle or, you know, a friendly vehicle, again, 4, 5, or 6, he can jump on. Boom, he's got it. He's in there. If it's an enemy vehicle, again, remember, he still hasn't boarded another vehicle. He never successfully did that. So he's still part of this team. He's still part of the Blindwing team. Okay? So, again, it's going to be on this. If this is, let's say he's already used up all his gear phases. Let's say we're on gear phase 5. He could only go up to gear 4. Max gear was 4. He's pretty much screwed. He can't do anything. Alright, so if their gear phases are up and their turns are done, he can't do anything. He's just sitting there because he's still a member technically attached to this crew. Right? But let's say it was gear phase 5. You know, we're early in the gear phases. Let's just say it's gear phase 2, for instance. He couldn't get onto his boys' rig, so now he's going on to this one. 4, 5, or 6, he can still jump on. If it's anything above gear phase 1. Gear phase 1, no problem. He can pretty much just jump on it, as long as he's within one short distance. But then this turn will end, and then he'll have to take care of this, much in the same manner as boarding, same thing. And if it's an enemy, same thing. The crew of this vehicle could shoot at him, so on and so forth. But again, if he's just sitting there, let's say this was in gear phase, we're in gear phase 5, this only could go up to gear phase 4. He can't do anything. He's going to stay there. He's stuck. Can't board. Free attack. Boom. GTA, motherfucker. Boom. Gone. End of story. Alright. So that's with the cars. Now this applies to all cars, tanks, so on and so forth. It does not apply to motorcycles, gyrocopters, helicopters, or rigs of any type. Now we're going to get into the rigs also. So this is just the one I have open right now. It's going to get repainted. Anyway, so it's rig. Same thing. Now the difference is, still has to be within one short. Right? He could jump on. Because war rigs are so large, or performance rigs, or tow rigs, whatever type of rig it is, because they're so large, it does get a little bit easier for him. So he'll have to roll a 4, 5, or 6 as soon as I find him. Yeah. Anyway, he has to roll a 4, 5, or 6 in order to get on here. Okay, once he does that, same rules apply. He has to stay on. But again, because it is so large, 4, 5, or 6. Boom, he's on. Doesn't mean he's already on the cab. Now, if he were to jump on the cab, then he can resume as normal. Start attacking, they can start attacking him. However, let's say he jumps on, he jumps from the back. Boom, he's on. We're not going to worry about ladders and, oh, he's still climbing up. We'll just say the initial jump, and when he establishes his foothold on it with the 4, 5, or 6 in the next gear phase. So we'll go back just again. Gear phase 2, jumps, rolls 4, 5, or 6, he's on. Gear phase 3, he's established it, he's on there. Firm foothold. Now he has to make his way to the cab. Let's just say anywhere along here, he still has to make his way to the cab. This is also where the skirmish part of this comes into place. Humans' foot movement, because we are dealing with fast cars and everything, everybody moves at a short template, period. I'll get a little more detailed in a second, but everybody moves in a short template, period. So basically, he's starting from here. Wherever your base is, as long as your base is comfortably safe on there, that's where he is, but it's always going to be from the back when it comes to a rig, if he jumps from the rig. If he jumps onto the middle, whatever point it is, that's where he is. If it was right here, he's right there. Either way, all people move forward one short distance from the edge of their base, be it a penny base, or as you can see right here, this is the base of the model itself from its casting. But I use penny bases because this is 15mm sci-fi. So he can move one short. Again, remember, he's still part of this crew. He's still part of this road crew. So he has to wait till the activation of this vehicle. If they're out of activations, he's stuck. He can't do anything. He's going to still stay there. But again, he's just going to have to move up to make his way. Handguns are medium range. If he has a machine gun, it's medium. It's whatever its range is. As long as you can take a look, you can shoot. So he may just want to stay back there and just, use your imagination. We're playing a game of imagination. He's just kind of leaning here to the side and making his way, shooting through the cab, shooting through the window. Maybe the driver's sticking out. We're just using our imagination here. We're having fun, community, being, doing our thing. So he doesn't necessarily have to move up, but it's kind of fun to do that. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, they can move one short. Alright, plain and simple. Same thing from the rear. Let's say they were in the rear. It's actually a lot easier. Now we're going to do this because this applies to both rigs and regular cars. Still has to do the medium short in order to jump on there, or excuse me, the short template. However, since you're jumping from the back of your car onto a vehicle that's moving forward, okay, instead of the 5 or 6 for the car, or for a 6 on the car, it also goes down to 4, 5, or 6. So you jump from the rear onto a moving vehicle, 4, 5, or 6, boom, you're safe. With the rig, same thing. It's going to be 4, 5, or 6. Boom, you're on there. Immediately start attacking. Now, where it gets interesting, we're going to go with the rig here. Really, this applies for everything. And say this is the driver of the rig. No, you don't have to put the minis on here to show them. I'm just doing this for the illustrative purposes. Let's say we were in gear phase 3. He established his foothold, but his original ride, his original team, since he hasn't taken over this rig, we're out of gear phases. We'll say gear phase 4. Let's put gear phase 4. Okay. This only went up to gear phase 3. It's done. All of its crew is done. He's still attached to this crew. Let's say this rig, just for this example, has 6 gear phases. So gear phase 4, he's stuck. He can't do anything. However, he can still shoot at him, despite that he's there, and he's pretty much stuck. He's screwed. Again, when you're shooting, because it's a moving vehicle, a 5 or 6, he's going to hit him. Plain and simple. However, war rigs never have just one driver. I mean, let's face it. So let's add some crew members here. And we're not going to use a lot of crew members. We're just going to have a total of 5 crew, driver and 4 other guys. So this guy jumped up on here. Well, our not Mad Max. This is not our Mad Max. He decides he's going to get out. So that's his attack. He doesn't have to roll to get a foothold or anything like that, because he's already in there. He's already established. Boom, he's up there. he decides he wants to get out. So that's his attack movement for that. But let's say you also have a gunner's nest up here, a gunner's nest that was back there. And I just want to show this one off real quick. He does have a chainsaw. Again, this is from Coruscant Miniatures. This is from their post-apocalyptic line. I really like them. Check them out. I've had these for a couple years. I just never really painted them. Now I have a good reason to paint them. Because originally they were supposed to be for a Defiance. Remember the TV show Defiance in the video game? That's what I was going to use them for. But anyway, so yeah, here's one here with the chainsaw. We're going to get into the chainsaw in a second. But anyway, let's say, you had your Viper's Pit and all that other stuff. You had your guys all over here. Again, he can't do anything. Or even if he can, it doesn't matter. All these guys can still attack him. So we're in gear phase 4. He decides to attack him. He decides to shoot him. Or she rather decides to shoot him. He decides to shoot him. There's a good chance he's going to die before he gets off of here. Pretty much screwed. So yeah, there you go. Whole lot of options that you can go with. Makes it a little bit more fun. Gives it a little bit of an RPG element. A little bit more of a movie element. And to the gentleman that brought it up, I honestly can't remember your name because it was like 5 in the morning and I was in and out of consciousness. And I really didn't have time to look it up. But thank you for bringing up the suggestion. So let's go ahead and go with the skirmish part. Alright, so we're just going to have some here. Say cars are zooming by, blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. Cars are all over the place. So you've got some of your guys here, some of your guys there. The range for weapons, plain and simple, are the same ranges that are established in the game book. Shorts, mediums, longs, whatever. If he has, as far as handguns, it doesn't say anything, again, distinguishing between 22 cal, 9mm, 45 caliber, shotgun, buckshot, solid slug. It's all considered a handgun. It all does 1d6 damage. Okay? So whatever ranges are there, the ranges are there. The difference is we're going to get into the movement. Okay? So for the most part, movement's always going to be one short. Why? Because this is designed more for moving vehicles than it is for people. But I am using the established rules. The established rules, I should say. So we're going to say their movement is limited to short. Okay? So they can only move short, but your weapons are still long enough range. And you got to remember, we're playing like mostly on a 3-foot by 3-foot board. That's pretty much the standard for most 15mm games. And it makes sense for this game also. So we're going to go with just a short. There you go. So on and so forth. Alright. Pretty easy. The guns are already established. There's a whole listing of them. So if you have a model with a heavy machine gun, or you want to say it's a heavy machine gun, I don't care if you decide these little pistols here are a heavy machine gun. The game is not what you see is what you get. It is nice to have one that has it modeled on there. But yeah, you don't have to have one with the heavy machine gun. You just got to say it has a heavy machine gun. So you're going to use that range there. Now, so I already showed you the guy with the chainsaw, right? That's a close combat weapon. This gentleman here also has some type of saw. It's more like a cybernetic arm replacement saw. Pretty cool. You're going to argue, but this doesn't work in the short range. He's too far. You're exactly right. You are exactly right. So, for these melee style combat weapons, saws, chainsaw, buzzsaw, whatever saw your figure may have, has to be in base-to-base contact with the opponent, with your enemy. Saws do 2d6 on their rolls, because come on, they're pretty damn lethal. 2d6, a successful hit is always a 4, 5, or 6. 6 is always a critical. So let's say you get 2 6s or a 5 and a 6, gone. He sawed in half, gone. Just blood everywhere. The glory of mayhem and destruction. So yeah, 4, 5, or 6 to hit. They do 2d6 damage. Yep, there you go. Pretty simple. Swords, I mean, come on. This is post-apocalypse. If you absolutely positively must use a sword, swords are going to be 1d6. Plain and simple. 4, 5, or 6 again to hit. Roll of a 6. It's critical. Basically, you've hit them right in the heart. Or just some other vital organ where they're going to bleed out and they're going to die regardless. And then you just keep moving on. Yay! You're dead. Adios. So yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts on it. I'd like to hear your thoughts, of course, on the following things. So I don't have it available right now. I should have, but my daughter must have moved it. So let me talk about a couple things real quick. First and foremost, the page has hit 200 members, 202 as of this morning. Thanks to everybody. I didn't really think there would be much interest in it, but Gaslands is pretty hot right now. But thanks for everybody for showing your interest. For those that give me input, I do greatly appreciate it, and I do listen. Sometimes, as you can tell, I do forget your names, and I don't give you the proper acknowledgments. Believe me, once I get everything written down, I will be giving shout outs to everybody that's given me some type of comment, encouragement, positive or negative. All comments are appreciated. So I do appreciate that. The other thing I have to bring up is videos might be coming even slower than they were. The reason being is I have some health issues. You all know I'm diabetic. Something else has come up that I'm currently being tested for. I've spoken to a couple of my friends about it. I've shared. I haven't made it generally public yet. But something has come up to where we're testing. I'm still waiting for the test results. It's going to be a little bit, because they were pretty damn thorough, and we checked for a whole bunch of other stuff because of my family medical history. Best case scenario is that this is a diabetes related issue and can be treated very easily and very quickly. If that is the case, then I can get back on to doing things much, much quicker like I was intending to do. If it turns out to be the worst case scenario, there are going to have to be some changes. I'll still be able to knock things out pretty quickly. However, and I know that to some of you this may sound silly, it might be 2 or 3 years before it really becomes a major impact in my life. But there's no telling with this particular issue. It could happen a lot faster because of what it is. And basically it'll be to the point where I will no longer be able to paint anything. Because I am right-handed. I'll have to learn how to do it left-handed, which is a huge learning curve for somebody who's been doing everything with the right hand for 42 years. So painting might be an issue. Typing will definitely be an issue because I predominantly, nowadays, most of us type, we've gotten used to using our laptop with one hand and typing everything like that. Boom, 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 real quick. So I'll basically have to learn new motor skills in my left hand in order for this to work. Again, I'm hoping it's not the worst case scenario. But if it is, I'm just letting you know things might go slow. And like I said, it sounds silly. It might be like 2 or 3 years down the line. There's always that possibility that things can accelerate towards less than a year. So I am going to try to get this done as fast as possible, at least the core book. I have a couple people in mind that I can pretty much tell them via voicemail or anything like that my ideas for everything, and they can type everything up. Thankfully, I have a lot of friends that do paint as well on a professional level, and they can paint things for me to illustrate for the book if need be, and for the supplements that I do plan to have out. So yeah, there's that. Just letting everybody know things are going to go slow because I have a lot of things on my mind. My family, of course, is number one. I have to make sure things are lined up for them should the worst case scenario happen. I'm not dying. Let me get that out there. I'm not dying. But this is something pretty serious. And like I said, I've told a couple people. So we'll just have to wait and see. So that went off topic here a little bit. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to know. My daughter, and my 8-year-old daughter, God bless her, and my 11-year-old son, and to some point, my 10-year-old son also, they said, Dad, since this is the wasteland, why not have some people riding velociraptors into battle just like in Jurassic Park? And I'm going to entertain that idea just as a completely optional thing because this is a wasteland post-apocalyptic thing. It's supposed to be a little bit more serious, but it's nice to have some fun little quirky stuff in there. So a totally optional thing. I'm thinking I'm just going to use this Primaris Marine real quick. Let's just say, let's move this out of the way. Let's just say you're riding a Velociraptor. I'm going to say it has like a max gear of 3, you know. And basically it's just going to be somebody who's on it, riding it, and shooting their weapons. Like 2 hard points max. You know, let's say it's got like some hip-mounted rockets on there, or hip-mounted machine guns, laser raptors, you know, something like that. It sounds kind of fun, you know, something fun, and you know the little ones can have fun because they're playing a dinosaur in the game. So you know, hey, why not? They're mutants from the radiation fallout and all that good stuff. So yeah, like I said earlier, this was going to be about a 30 to 40 minute video. I'm closing in on 40 minutes now. But yeah, I'd like to hear your opinions on the skirmish rules and everything like that. Will there be rules for cover? Yes. There will be. Hell, just to do it real quick, move these guys out of the way. Let's say this is cover. I know it's not to scale, but anyway, here, you know what? That would be full cover. Of course, you can't shoot through it. It's because that's where the gear phase ended. Boom. You can't shoot through it. You can't see. You can attack this guy, but you can't attack this guy. Okay? We'll make that real clear. We'll just use this. My pinning vise thing. You see, he can see over that. He can see over that. He's half obscured. So, it's going to... His hit is always going to be a -1. If he's firing at him... So 4, 5, or 6 to hit. He rolls a 6. It turns into a 5. He rolls a 4. It's a miss because it hit this barricade. Plain and simple. There's your cover rule right there. Partially obscured. Shooter's always -1 on his roll. There you go. Plain and simple. Very easy. No problem. We're not going to get into elevation things, adding +1s or anything like that. No, 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 no. Just clear line of sight and the cover options. Alright, so that is it. Let me hear your opinions on everything. Looking forward to again. And again, thanks for 202 members for World of the Mad. Thanks to 7, what do we have now on the YouTube channel? I believe I'm at 474 or 5 members. 475 members. Wow. You know, that's impressive for me. You know, I know other channels have millions of views. That's impressive for me. So we need 25 more people before I do the giveaway. 25. That's it. Don't go making fake accounts. I hate assholes that do that. Do not make a fake account just to increase the chances to win. Just to get this thing to work. Okay? I just need 25 more people and I'll be doing the giveaway. I've got the stuff set up over there. I may give away one of my old custom cars. Or I may make a new custom car also for it. If somebody's interested in it, I'll do that for you. And from my buddy Larry, your bone shaker is about done. I'm just trying to get somebody to make that freaking decal that I need for it. One specific decal I had that I designed specifically for you, sir. So you're going to get your custom here shortly. If I don't get the decal, I've got an alternate plan. We'll go with that. Alright guys, everybody, you all have a safe and happy week. Again, don't drink and drive, because we don't want you to do something stupid and end up dead, because we need more people to play against and have these type of conversations and have fun. Keep the community alive. Alright everybody, take it easy. I'll talk to you later. Have another video later on, maybe Friday. So yeah, have a good one. Later.